Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, 3 men accused of murdering St. Catherine schoolboy to court in November. Bail was extended Monday for the 3 men accused of fatally stabbing a 15-year-old high school student in St. Catherine 7 years ago. They are to reappear in the St. Catherine Circuit Court on November 17, 2025. The deceased is Javon Barnes, who was a student of Enid Bennett High School, formerly Bogwalk High, in St. Catherine. The accused Wahim Goldburn, Akeem Campbell, and Kader Price are all of Bogwalk addresses in the parish. The new court date was set following an appearance before Justice Dale Palmer. It has been alleged in court that the incident occurred on May 14, 2018, while Barnes and another student were walking along Main Street in Bogwalk. They were allegedly approached by the accused men, with whom they reportedly had a long-standing dispute. One of the accused men, allegedly armed with a ratchet knife, attacked and stabbed both boys. They were assisted to the Linstead Hospital, where Barnes succumbed to his injuries. His schoolmate was hospitalized. A subsequent investigation by the Bogwalk police led to the arrest and the charge of the 3 accused men. St. Thomas, a videographer held after imitation firearms found in home. Police in St. Thomas have arrested a videographer after discovering 3 black imitation firearms during a pre-dawn operation at his home in Yalas on Monday. The imitation weapons were among 4 homemade firearms seized during coordinated raids in the parish. In a separate operation in Wheeler's Field, lawmen seized an imitation shotgun and an illegal .38 revolver. 2 brothers were arrested in connection with that raid, which also took place early Monday morning. A detective close to the investigations told the news that despite not being real, imitation firearms can be used to intimidate or commit crimes and are taken seriously under the new Firearms Act. The police are reminding the public that imitation firearms, though not real, can be used to threaten or commit crimes and are treated seriously under the new Firearms Act, the detective said. Responding to questions about whether the items might have been props for the videographer's work, the officer explained that the law requires a special clearance. Under the law, there has been a special permit granted, and also, even if that is so, you must also have a registered business, the officer said. At this point, he doesn't seem to have met either of those, he added, noting that official charges against all 3 men are pending. Portland secretary charged for allegedly cutting teenage girl with a knife. A 33-year-old secretary has been arrested and charged after she allegedly used a knife to cut a 17-year-old girl on the neck in Portland. Sasha Lee James of Prospect Land Settlement, Port Antonio, Portland, has been charged with wounding with intent. She was reportedly among patrons at an event in her community when an argument developed between her and the teenager about 12:15 a.m. It is alleged that a man handed James a ratchet knife, which she used to inflict a wound to the girl's neck. The injured girl was transported to hospital, where she was admitted in a stable condition. A report was made to the police, and James was subsequently arrested and charged. The police say her court date is being arranged. Hotel worker accused of secretly swapping guest cash to fake notes. A St. James hotel worker has been charged with possession of counterfeit currency notes after being accused of switching guest cash to fake notes at a hotel where he works in Hanover. 32-year-old server O'Brien Sital, otherwise known as OB, of Spotter Valley, Little River, St. James, was charged on Sunday. The Green Island police say sometime in June, several guests reported that monies left in their rooms were switched out with counterfeit notes. An investigation was launched at the hotel, and the Sital was identified as a suspect. He was accosted and searched while at work on Sunday and was reportedly found with US $100, 4 US $50, and 18 US $20 notes, all bearing the same serial number. After the discovery, the police were summoned and he was taken into custody. The initial find led the police team to conduct an operation at the Sittle's house, which reported resulted in the discovery of 75 US $100, 3 US $50, 20 US $10, and 20 US $5 counterfeit notes, along with Jamaican and Canadian currencies, in a shoebox in his bedroom. The accused man was taken into custody, where he was formally charged. He is scheduled to appear in the Green Island Parish Court on July 16. Hearing impaired student swept away after falling in drain. A search is now underway for a hearing impaired 5th grade student of New Hope Primary School in White House, Westmoreland. "I am trembling as I speak," a teacher told the news. "They should have been inside waiting to be dismissed, but they tried to leave through the fence. We're heartbroken and hoping for the best. The entire community is on the seaside." According to reports from the scene, the boy attempted to cross a drain, slipped, and fell into the water. His classmates and a nearby ice cream vendor desperately tried to rescue him, but they were unsuccessful. Fishermen from the community have launched their boats and were combing the coastline for any sign of the child. Ongoing rainfall, though now lighter, has made search efforts more difficult as runoff water from nearby hills continues to empty into the sea. Parents and residents gathered at the scene, visibly distressed. As the search continues, the community remains gripped with anxiety, hoping for a miracle. Police seeking assistance to locate a witness for case in St. Elizabeth Circuit Court. Detectives from the St. Elizabeth Criminal Investigation Branch are seeking the public's assistance to locate a witness who is vital to a case that is before the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court. He is 44-year-old Nicoy Clark, whose last known address is Hopewell District, Hanover. Clark is scheduled to appear before the court on Wednesday, July 23. Nicoy Clark, or anyone knowing his whereabouts, is being asked to contact the St. Elizabeth Criminal Investigation Branch at 876-965-2026, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Fire Brigade updates on fuel tanker blaze on Spanish Town Road. A senior Jamaica Fire Brigade officer has provided an update on the major fire on Spanish Town Road in St. Andrew on Monday that involved a fuel tanker and damaged to at least one nearby business complex. The fire resulted in a major traffic diversion in a section of the corporate area for hours as the blaze was tackled. The JFB representative spoke with the news and promised to provide further details as they become available during the ongoing probes into the incident.
Acting Assistant Commissioner, Jamaica Fire Brigade, Era 1. Presently on an incident scene at Spanish Town Road, 591 Agro World. We were called to an incident at around approximately 11:58 a.m. with a tanker on fire on the roadway. We quickly responded with units from Trenchtown, Halfway Tree, and York Park. We got on the scene, we saw the tanker on fire, and we quickly got into operation and were able to contain and eventually extinguish. There's also a warehouse that was also on fire at the front of the premises mentioned previously. We also attacked that fire and managed to bring it under control, and we are now presently doing cooling down operation. We haven't established what has caused the fire as yet. Investigation will be done at a later date to establish that information.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.